John had 1000 shares of a company, and which the company with a face value of 40 rupees. So I'll keep on writing here. So number of shares that he has is what? N is equal to 1000, and this is the face value or the nominal value is how much? 40 rupees. And dividend is 8%. Now what he did was he sold some of the shares. We do not know how many shares he sold. So say the number of shares sold. So sold shares, we can say number of sold shares, we can say number of shares sold. If we do not know, so let it be X. At a discount of 10%. So discount rate is what? 10%. This is the dividend rate. Remember, dividend. Discount of 10%. So we have to find, this is the discounted price. Discount is 10% here. And invested the proceeds, whatever he got the money, he invested in 20 rupees share. So he invested in what? There is a share of face value 20 rupees at a premium of 50%. So this is not at a discounted rate, it's a premium price. So we can say premium is how much? 50% here. Paying 12% dividend. So dividend rate is 12% here. Fine. His income changed by 192. So maybe the 192 is more or less, it depends. So change in income is 192. Find the number of shares sold by him. So we do not know the number of say income, that number of shares it was sold. So we can calculate here like this. Say he bought 1000 shares at a discounted price. Okay, he bought 1000 shares of a company with face value 40 and paying 8% as dividend here. So he has 1000 shares. He sold some of these. We do not know how many. So some of these sold at 10%, discount of 10%. So let's find out that discounted price. So discounted price will be what? Discounted value, or we can say that is market value, we can say, right? So market value, market price here, market value here will be equal to original, which is 40, right? Nominal value or face value minus 10% of nominal value, right? So what is that? This will be market value here will be equal to 40 minus 10% of 40. So this got cancelled. So how much is that? Market value of this share is 36 rupees. Fine. This is the market value of the share. Which value? That he has. He sold some of these at a 10% discount. So this is the market value that at which he had sold. He had sold some of the shares at a rate of 36 rupees. So what is the total amount that he will get? So amount received on selling how many shares? X number of shares, right? At what price? At rupees 36. How many shares? X number of shares. Okay, so one share has 36 rupees, so X shares will have how much amount? So in that case, amount here will be equal to 36x. Fine. He sold some of these at discount at 10% and invested the proceeds, right? So whatever he has got, this is the amount he received he invested in 20 rupees shares at a 50% premium. So let's calculate the premium for that guy. So premium amount for that will be how much? This is 50%. So the market value of the share that he has bought will be how much? 20 plus 50% of 20. So that will give you exactly 30 rupees. So he has bought the share for 30 rupees each. How much? 30 rupees each. Clear? So, and how many shares he will buy? We do not know. Fine. So this is the price of one share and the amount he has this much. So how to calculate that? We can calculate the amount here, the number of shares. So we say, I mean, do not know how many shares he bought. So say Y number of shares. Y number of shares into rate is 30 rupees and total amount invested is how much? 36x. So we can say Y will be equal to what? 36x upon 30. So which is equal to 6 upon 5, right? So Y is equal to 6x upon 5. This is the number of, basically, what is Y in it? Y is the number of shares. So we can say here number of shares, or we can say in case like if it is Y is confusing, you can take number of shares here. So number of shares is what? Equal to N here. So N is the number of shares. N will be how much? 6x upon 5 shares he has bought. Fine. So number of share he has bought is 6x upon 5. Now then the question arises here, if he has bought these many shares of the one which has a face value 20 rupees, fine, then what is the dividend that he will be getting? So dividend received from the second company, dividend will be equal to how much? That is, they are paying 12% dividend, right? So 12% of the premium is how much? Okay, what is the value of the share? 20 rupees. So how much is that? So that comes to 10. You cancel it. 2 5s are 10. So how much is that? On one share he is getting 12 upon 5 rupees, right? 12 upon 5 rupees is getting on one share, right? Alright, this will get cancelled. 5s are 5, 12 upon 5. This is dividend on one share of the second company. How many shares does he have? He has got 6 upon 6x upon 5 shares. So total dividend here, total dividend is equal to number of shares into dividend amount, right? So what is the number of share? Number of share is 6x upon 5 and dividend amount is how much? 12 upon 5 here. So how much is that? So this will become here 72x upon 25. This is the total amount that he has received. Got it? This is the total amount that he has received as a dividend, and the previous case he had received how much? The dividend that he has received was how much? We have to calculate this also. See here, if you divide 72 by 25, you will get 2.88. Fine. Now we have to calculate the dividend received from the previous one. So the dividend received from the previous one is how much? 8%. So we have to calculate that. That is, here it would be how much? 8% of, and what is the value there in it? 8% of how many shares? Okay, 8% of face value is 40, right? 40 into number of shares. What is the number of shares? We can say dividend here in the previous case will be dividend, dv and d, dividend is equal to 8% of 40, and how many shares he has? Okay, x shares. Okay, so it was x. So this will become here 8 upon 100 into 40 times x. So if you cancel it, it will become how much? So the 0 will get cancelled here, 32. So it will become 3.2 32 upon 10, right? So 33.2x. The dividend received here is 3.2x, and the dividend received now after, okay, he has bought the other share, okay, from the other company, he is getting 2.88x. So which one is more? Previous one was more. So how much is it more? So we can say the difference is what? Difference in the dividend here is equal to what? 3.2x minus 2.88x, right? And how much is that? If you subtract 3.2 minus 2.88, you get how much? 0.32. So we'll get 0.32x. This is the difference, and according to the question they have given here, the difference amount is 192. So difference in the dividend that he will getting is 192. So we can say, according to us, that we have calculated is 0.32x, and that should be equal to how much? So we write here 0.32x is equal to 192. So x will be how much? 192 divided by 0.32, and it will be 19200 upon 32. So can we divide this 192 by 32? Yes, it will go exactly 6 times. So it will go exactly 6 times. So we can say it is 600 here. So 600 shares that was sold here, and this is the answer that we have here. The question was how many shares was sold. The answer is 600 shares has been sold, and this is why here, okay, I'll put it all together here. You can see this. Okay, so the number of shares sold by John will be 600 shares, and there is an answer in it here. Fine. Hope you have understood how to do it. First, because we did not know the number of shares it was sold earlier, so we'll take it as x. We find out the dividend, we find out the dividend from the other company, and then get the difference, and that difference has to be equated with 192, and you will get that.